Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. I'm excited to introduce something a little bit new to the channel, and that is monthly resets. I have been implementing monthly resets in my life for a long time, but I've never really shared about them on YouTube. And this is how I stay on track and stay focused with things, is resetting every single month and not just letting month after month run into each other. And then you're halfway through the year and you're like, I didn't get all these things done that I wanted to get done, or life just got away from me. So doing monthly resets helps keep me intentional. So I want to share my monthly reset with you, and maybe you'll find some encouragement for your own life. So today I'm going to be walking you through how I refocus, I set my priorities, and I realign my heart with God's plan for the month ahead. I'm going to be using two tools. That is the Dream with God Life Planner. As much as I like to be digital, I still need a paper planner. But to track, I do much better digitally. So I really use a combination of tools. That is the Dream with God Life Planner and the Ultimate Mom Brain template for Notion. If you don't use Notion already and you are somebody who has a lot of things going on, I highly recommend learning how to use the app. It is a productivity software that can be completely customized to your life. I call it my second brain. It's my brain in digital form. Everything that I need to know lives there so that I can free up space in my own brain and actually move forward into productivity. So I use these two tools regularly, and they have been super beneficial to me. So before I jump into schedules and to-do lists, I always start with my heart. I have this little monthly review page here in my planner, and then in my Notion template, I actually have even more questions. And I usually do this on a Sunday when I'm in Sabbath time, and I just take some time to talk to the Lord and reflect on the previous month. What went well this month? What was challenging this month? What is my focus for next month? What is something that happened that I didn't expect? I'll leave a quick screenshot here of the questions for my planner, and you can just jot these down, but answer these questions. They really help just to reset and refocus. I will then use my daily prayer journal to just write down, what did God teach me this month? What do I need to release to the Lord? What do I need to surrender? Is there a lesson from scripture that I learned this month? Is there an answered prayer that I experienced this month? So I just like to take some time and write down all those things in my daily prayer journal. I also like to choose a Bible verse for the month. I will pick one for the year, but I also like to focus on one and trying to commit that to memory that month as well. And my Bible verse for the month of February is Hebrews 12:11. I'm really trying to grow in discipline and self-control. It's especially with what I'm choosing to eat and exercising. I want to do things that are glorifying and honoring to God and not be giving into the spirit of gluttony and just having what I want. I want to do, of course, with God, everything is permissible, but not all things are beneficial. So I'm really focusing on Hebrews 12:11, and says, for the moment, all discipline seems painful rather than pleasant, but later it yields the peaceful fruit of righteousness to those who have been trained by it. So that is the verse that I am focusing on for February. I actually have a whole reset page right in the Notion template that just gives me little reminders of things like clearing out my email inboxes, things like cleaning out the receipts in my wallet, filing, scanning, anything that I need to do like that, clearing off my downloads folder and my desktop on my computer. So I do want to show you this reset page of the planner. And first of all, I've got this quick little brain dump just held up in this toggle so I can close it up and it can be nice and neat. I don't want to miss anything, right? So this is just little prompts, current tasks and projects. What do you keep forgetting to do? What do you need to catch up with? Homework, car maintenance needs doing. When's your next trip? Anything you need to take care of? Deadlines, commitments, ideas, inspirations, concerns, worries. So I can just go and brain dump this out here. I actually write these in my paper planner, and I just keep this kind of copy here as I'm working hand in hand in my paper planner. So I've already done that. These are just some tasks that came from my brain dump that I want to put in my actual Notion template so that I make sure that I get them done. And then I have also my notes and ideas. So anything that I need to, I didn't really use this much. So anything I need to go over there, I can check. But then I like to revisit any book notes. I didn't have any major notes this month. Same with that. So I'm not going to check them because I don't really need to do them. And then complete weekly planning. And this is more for my wellness and other things, not necessarily my task list, which is where I have out here, plan out next week's tasks. Here's just a place if I need to get caught up with tracking any habits. I've got a copy of my habit tracker there, and then also my YouTube and podcast calendar. So I just like to come to this page on a weekly, but also on a monthly basis and work through it. That I don't miss anything. I don't forget anything. Next, I move into my family and home organization, because let's face it, if your home feels chaotic, then everything feels chaotic. In the Ultimate Mom Brain template on Notion, I have family schedules, cleaning schedules, meal planning, and just daily routine tasks task list, all the things live there. One thing I like to do is to do a pantry and fridge inventory. I do this weekly, but especially on a monthly basis, it takes a little bit more time, and I'm trying to reset with some ideas for the month. I do plan meals on a weekly basis, but just overall looking at the month, is there anything in my pantry that's going to expire or that I have a lot of, ways that I can save money because I've already got a lot of these things in the pantry. So I like to go through the pantry and just use my planner here and do an inventory. It might seem a little bit silly or like overboard that you are treating your pantry inventory like a business, but it works for me. It helps me from overspending. It helps inspire me to have new meal ideas. So doing this pantry inventory is super helpful. It's all tracked within the Ultimate Mom Brain Notion template. It saves so much mental energy. As I try new recipes, I add them in there, and then I simply just drag them and drop them into my upcoming calendar for the meals that I'm going to make for my family. I also review our family's upcoming commitments. What events do we have going on? Make sure our schedule is not too overpacked, because let's be honest, sometimes as moms, we say yes to too many things, and that can lead to burnout. So I will just overlook my events and what I have said yes to for February. And if there's anything that I need to change or reschedule or push into the following month, I don't want to feel burned out. I really want to invite peace into our home and into our family. So some things obviously you don't have control over. I mean, right now we're in basketball practice and play practice and tutoring and all of the things, and we're just in a busier stage with our school season. So I'm not going to say yes to as many friend things this month, because I know we've just got a lot going on school wise. Our kids just started a new school. I like to make sure we don't have too many commitments and we haven't said yes to too much. And then I can ask God, like, what do I need to prioritize this month? What can be deleted from the schedule and what can be pushed off? Now I get into my personal goals and my business goals. I use the goals and vision page of the Ultimate Mom Planner to keep super on track with my goals and make sure that I am achieving what I want to do. So I'm going to take you over to the Notion template now and walk you through January's goals, what I met, what I didn't meet, and what we are prioritizing for February. So I wanted to just show you how I would wrap up a January 1st. So let's just scroll down to the bottom first, because I've already done this just to save time on camera, but answer with these reflection questions. Again, anytime you're goal setting, you're refocusing, you're resetting, reflection first. How would I rate my month out of 10? I'm giving it a 7. What went well for me this month? Daily workouts. I was actually super impressed with how committed I was to my daily workouts, and time to work on Faithful Mothers. I really wanted to get some more time in for that with my kids going back to school this month. They're starting school. They started second semester at a new school here. So my schedule is just looking different. So that just worked really well for me this month. Did I achieve most of my goals? Yes, mostly. Did anything get in the way of me achieving my best? I think planning dates. I wasn't intentional about planning dates with my husband because we only got on one. I'll explain that in a second. What could I have done differently? Again, planning the dates, being more intentional about that. What did I do that I hadn't planned to do? I exceeded my exercise. I only set a goal of doing it 12 times, which was 3 times a week for the first month. And I did it, I think 24 times. We'll see that in a second. And also my prayer journal habit. I very easily stuck to that every day. And again, I'm just in a new season where my kids now leave. So after they leave, my husband's been driving them to school. I will work on my Bible reading and my prayer journaling then. So I'm not worrying about waking up before, or if somebody's going to be stopping and interrupting me. It's just been really great. It's my action plan for working on my habits. Not to get discouraged, to keep going and be true to this template, keep using this template. What would I like to achieve next month? I want to lose 8 more pounds, bump up the content. I only got 2 videos out and 3 podcasts. I'd like to do 4 of each. What are 3 things I'm grateful for this month? I think it's always great to focus on gratitude. The ability to move my body. It just felt great to get moving again on a consistent basis. My health. I know so many people were not healthy in January, and my kids starting school. What lessons did I learn? Again, how much better I feel when I move my body and how awful when I don't. And I need to track using this planner to stay consistent. What did I improve or learn? Workflows, just getting better workflows. In order to create regular content in the busyness of my life, I need to just work on my workflows. So I did that this month. Are there any events I should be for? I have a friend coming February 22nd. So that week will kind of knock me out of my regular routines. 3 of those days I'm actually going away. She's treating me to a little hotel away, which will be really nice. But I know I'll be off my eating plan, off my workout plan. So I just need to be preparing for that in order to reach my goals, try to fit in extra walks and be mindful of what I'm eating with still relaxing and enjoying the little vacay that I'm getting. Did I make any mistakes? I think being too hard on myself with my meal plan. I tend to be an all or nothing person, just trying to find a little bit more balance. And I did my first fast this month, my first 3-day fast, I should say. And then after that, I was not happy with my results in week 4 after being super consistent for 3 weeks. Who do I want to spend more time with? Greg. We didn't get enough dates. I want to make sure that we are doing that. Again, that was just sorting out a new routine and whatnot. And now that we're kind of getting in the groove, I think that'll be easier to do this month. What did I spend too little time on? Making YouTube videos. I didn't really get around to filming a whole lot. It's because I was working on workflows. And then my main focus goal is to lose 8 pounds, stay consistent in weight loss goals, and batch creating for time efficiency. I'm not going to add any images right at this moment, but you can then go in and mark off your habits. And I've already got some showing up in February here. But you can mark off any habits if you are behind. Let's look at my goals. So pending goals, I wanted to go on 4 dates. I only made 1. And then I wanted to earn $1,000 per month of my little side income. I only earned $506.43. So only about halfway there. But look at all the goals I completed. I prayer journaled 18 times. I had only set that for 15, so I changed it to 18. I read 11 books. These are all the books that I read. I'm not going to go through them all. You can pause and read them if you want to see. I will mention Atomic Habits and the 5 a.m. Club. Those are 2 of my favorite books. I like to read them every year at the beginning of the year. They just get me fired up. So I enjoy that. Anyways, I lost 15 pounds. I was hoping to lose 10. I did a monthly one-on-one with all of my kids. So that was all checked off. And then I actually got up to 5 to 8 Madrigal. So I doubled what I was expecting to do and read the book of Mark. Oh, Book of Mark is on here twice. I think this is supposed to say John, one of these. So again, I exercised 23 times. I had only expected to do that 12 times. I stopped tracking it monthly. That's why this number is a little bit off, but I know I did 23 times. And yeah, those are all the things. And then these were the tasks associated with those goals. So breaking them down a little bit farther so you can see all of that there. So overall, super excited. Then I will do a budget and finance check-in. Again, in my Notion template, this is where I track all of my finances. I have been so intentional with this since implementing this last year. That was a big goal of mine, to get everything organized, because I had apps and I kind of used a paper budgeting system before, but it was never thorough enough. I was still missing things. It's just like hyper tracks everything, my finance planner. And I spent a ton of time creating this to make this perfect. And I update this weekly, but on a monthly basis, I like to close out my financial budget for the month and look at the upcoming month. So now I'll take you over to the finance section of the planner and I will show you how I do that. Finances are a huge part of my reset. As moms, we manage so much. For me, I've got multiple things, several businesses, Project H. I've got lots of finances that I need to keep track of. I've got financial goals. I've got business goals. So all of this is tied up in my finances. Being good stewards of our finances is a huge part of honoring God. It's something that I want to continue to improve in. In Notion, I track our budget, our upcoming expenses, and giving goals. And in my planner, I reflect on how God provided last month, because sometimes we forget to look back and see how God provided. If you're struggling with finances, I encourage you to pray over your budget, ask God for wisdom, and be intentional in your spending this month. January, we had a no spend or low spend month as much as possible. Just coming off Christmas, we traveled. I wanted to spend as absolute little as possible. So our entertainment budget was really low, all of those things. February, I want to keep that as well. We recently took on a private school bill, just making sure that we are super tight with our finances. Right now, there's not a lot of wiggle room for entertainment or fun, but we're okay with that because that's our priorities right now. So realigning, like, how did that work in January and what can we do February to save even more money? If you watched my yearly goals, I talked about the debt that we accumulated in building our guest house. So it's not a huge debt, but it is enough. I'm not going to say exact numbers financially. However, we did have to take on a debt for an unexpected expenses, and we still have air conditioning units to put in the 4 rooms, which are going to cost about $500 US each. So that's not technically a debt, but it's an upcoming debt that we know we're going to have because we do want to put them in before we have more guests stay in there. So it's kind of adding onto that debt because I know we're trying to save for it, but we'll see. I was able to pay off $900 towards that this month, which felt really good. And that was just by choosing cheaper meal options and cutting out all entertainment, clothes. We didn't buy any extras, nothing at all this month. So we had a very, very slim budget for all of the essentials this month, and I was able to pay off $900 towards that. So that's great. Finally, I do a physical and a mental reset because a fresh start isn't just about planning. It's about creating peace in our home and in our hearts. I take a little time to declutter and reset my space. I like to write a list of the projects that I want to do. So for this month, cleaning out fridge inventory, I want to organize our storage shed, power wash our guest house. I really hope our power washer is working. I stopped mid-project because it stopped working. I don't know if it just overheated. So I have to check if that is going to work. And then I want to do a maintenance clean here out in my office. If this is an outdoor building, it gets super dusty. There's literally like a spider leg right here. I live in Nicaragua in the tropics, and I have to really stay on top of this space or dust just covers everything really quick. Do a good maintenance for that. I also have a big decluttering goal of just going through all my kitchen cabinets and doing a minimalism challenge for my kitchen this month, just to get rid of stuff that I'm not using, make it more functional, make it work well. So that is coming up for February as well. So that's it. My monthly reset routine helps me stay focused, purpose, intentional, and my values rooted in Christ. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're looking for a system to help you reset your life, I highly encourage you to check out the 2 tools I talked about, the Dream with God Life Planner and the Notion template. I will leave the links below. Also, let me know in the comments what's one thing that you are focusing on this month. I'd love to know, and I'd love to pray for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.